Shall we? I'm just going to shorten up everything I was trying to say before. We need to stop dividing each other by giving them some kind of name, like Karen. Let's stop that. MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. It does not. To put it as a fucking to individualize someone. He's MAGA, or she's a Karen. She's a bitch. She's a all of that. It really. That's the main problem that they don't want to talk about. Is the fact is that we've been insulting each other for far too long. It was like I was trying to say before. I could walk by a million people and literally have less than half of them say anything back to me, if not even less. You go out of your way to be nice to somebody and let somebody, go in front of you, and they don't go, thank you, thank you, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, thank you. I'm fine, you're good, go ahead. But whenever somebody does it for me, when it does happen, they're like, go ahead. It looks like they're doing it with derision. They just hate it. Like, go, just go. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Just trying to cross the street here. I'm the one who's got the fucking the walk signal, and you just want to turn. It just anybody who's been here long enough knows that I through my videos, I hate a lot of things. And yes, I'm allowed to hate. You're allowed to hate. We are all allowed to hate who we want to hate and how we choose to hate it. As long as we do not act in a physical, harmful way. And by harmful, I mean physical. I'm so tired of people's mental harm. Mental and emotional damage. No, I'm not, People are too fucking soft. You're too fucking soft. If you can't nut up and shut up, bring it, don't sing it, then don't talk to it. Just don't speak. But ever since the internet came out, we've given a platform to the people, the basement dwellers. We've given a platform to basically the worst of us. I mean, look at the dark web. Look at I don't know, Onision. Remember him? Yeah, he's still on YouTube. And yet we can't have MXR plays. Wow. I've seen channels come and go for various reasons. I've seen channels change their whole makeup and change everything they do, such as Magog of Morskar. Magog, he was absolutely hilarious. I loved watching him, whether he was doing political stuff or just everyday nut job people stuff. I was entertained. But then he had some sort of awakening, and he decided to stop doing everything political, and not just stop doing it, he deleted everything from his channel that led him to that point. And I'm like, whoa. He's like, well, he basically said he strayed too far away from what he originally wanted to do, and he got wrapped up into, doing the political style stuff, or the culture stuff. And but me, I've always been knee deep in the culture war. And people are like, oh, this, it's just been starting. I'm like, no, it's been around for a long time. It's been around for a long time. It started in my mind when, honestly, we started getting different genres of music that went against everything that music used to stand for. I mean, we had beautiful, heartfelt music from like Tina Turner, Whitney Houston. We had powerful, strong lyrics from like, I don't know, let's say Genesis, Phil Collins, Land of Confusion. And they even say that music is what shapes a culture. And yeah, that is fucking true. Because look at what music does to people. The people who listen to rap, people who listen to rock and roll, people who listen to country. We all have our culture based around that music, or a music based around that culture. So music is inherent in all of our cultures and backgrounds. And when it's put into the ether, on television and on the internet, we all get to experience somebody else's culture. Now, pretty much like I was saying about how I hate a lot of things, and again, we're allowed to hate. I hate pretty much all modern music now. There, I've said it. I hate all modern music, and I used to love Ozzy Osbourne, and I love Disturbed, and I love, currently, Tom MacDonald. However, when certain people open their mouths and say things that technically have no reason to be mentioning it, they start alienating their fan bases. They start dividing their fan bases. Oh, I'm an ex-Disturbed lover, Well, why do you not like him anymore? Oh, because he opened his mouth about, so-and-so, and I happen to like so-and-so, or I don't like so-and-so, but he likes him, so now I can't like them. The WNBA is a perfect example of that. I mean, Caitlin Clark, everybody was all Caitlin Clark, and all the bullshit going on with her. And believe me, that was some bullshit. You women need to leave her alone. That's fucked up. And you refs that didn't call that shit, you're scum. You're scum. I mean, this is blocking a basketball. This is going for somebody's eyeball. But the division that comes from alienating a fan base, or I could tell you something about me that would probably make pretty much all my subscribers leave me right now. I'm pretty sure I could do that. Just as much as Markiplier could say something like that. Could you imagine somebody like Markiplier stepping in the shit and saying something totally outlandish, totally unmark, and everybody just leaving him? Or Jacksepticeye, Brandon Ferris. Look what happened to PewDiePie. Through everything that he went through, he still has a fan base as diminished as it is. But it's the fact that nobody can say anything or do anything without just causing a division. Like right now, I'm causing a division by stating that we've divided ourselves by listening to the music we listen to the movies and the television we consume, to the politics that we follow. Yes, I absolutely can't stand the Democrats. I don't know how they are allowed to get away with what they do. The Supreme Court I think the Supreme Court needs a little bit more power. Not more justices, more power to override the president and override government. Somebody needs to be able to reel the government in. But we don't need a government to reel in the government. We have that technically. We've got the Supreme Court. And while the Republicans hold a 6-3 majority in the Supreme Court, it doesn't seem to help. It helps, yes. Yes, a lot of things are getting done and getting blocked, but too many things haven't been done. They're talking about, they just came back to from recess and from session back to session, and now they've got all these a new slew of cases, transgender surgeries, and just. We're always going to be divided until we stop labeling each other, we stop designating spaces for this type of people only, except for male and female. If you're male, you have your spots. If you're female, you have your spots. I mean, women, you can have your book clubs, you know, just as long as the men get to have their night out, their poker night with the boys. I mean, and that right there too. That's the other part of it that just drives me insane, is that there's so many people that say I should be able to do whatever I want, but this person shouldn't be able to do what I don't want them to do. You know, I should be able to go to Starbucks every day and waste all my money on pumpkin spice lattes, but he can't go out and buy a gun. I mean, those pumpkin spice lattes will kill you just about as fast as a gun could. Enough caffeine in one. Sugar. We all continue to march off the cliff like lemmings by allowing the federal government and allowing these, you know, news correspondents and shows to essentially treat us like children, treat us like we're stupid. And for me, I just can't have that. I can't. And that's why I don't watch cable. I mean, I'm trying to deal with Spectrum right now, trying to get the cable turned off because I don't watch cable. Give me a Roku with YouTube on it. I mean, I'll have YouTube. I'm fine. You know. And even my daughter and my wife, they don't watch cable. Well, maybe my wife does a little bit, but not me. I will not watch cable, and my daughter doesn't watch cable. She's an internet freak. And I'm trying to cut her back on that. It's tricky these days. You know? Not as tricky as I'm making it sound, but trust me. When you got a daughter like mine, she's a spitting image of me, I'll tell you what. Personality-wise, anyways. The whole fight for the presidency between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And here comes the neighbor's dogs. And as a matter of fact, that might give me a good chance to talk about that too. Is even your pets can divide you from other people. For example, I don't mind my neighbors. Can't stand their dog or dogs. I have to smell their dog shit. I can't relax in the backyard sometimes when certain weather hits, because so when the wind goes the right way, I have to smell it. And it's the simple fact that their one dog just keeps barking and barking and barking, even when there's nobody out there, even when there's nobody around. They just bark and bark and bark. I don't know why, but that can cause a divide for the fact that, you know, it makes me not want to, you know, talk to my neighbors. It makes me, like, whenever I hear the dogs getting ready to come out, I come inside so that the quicker they're in there. See, like now, there's nothing going on outside, and they just bark. They see a squirrel, a bird. I mean, I don't mind dogs. You know, I like dogs as long as they're not mine. Even though my wife's been pressuring me for a long time to get a dog. And that's one of the reasons right now where I'm being quieter, because if I'm too loud, it hears me. Sonny hears me, and he just barks his brains out. And he won't go in until the reason that's making him bark is no longer there. I mean, I could cough right now, and he would start barking. I've had to hide in front of my shed. I'm like, yep, just let him do his business, and he'll go back in. Like I said, I'm still trying to find ways to end the division in this country, little by little, by person. And, I mean, it's not hard. It's really not hard. You know, you don't call them, you know, you don't walk up to somebody. You know, for example, you don't walk up to a black guy and go, "What's up, bro?" Don't do that. You walk up to them and go, hello, how are you? Because the fact is, when you act like the other culture, generally don't like that. I mean, you can't walk up to an Indian person going, hello, sir, my name is Richard. How are you today? You can't do that. You can't do that. You won't do that. But yet so many people have it's so easy for them to get up into somebody's face and scream and say whatever they want to them when you don't agree with them on a political stance, or a domestic stance, like, where do you stand on abortion? Well, and it causes absolute chaos. There's just nothing worse than meeting somebody, finding out what, if they're open to tell you right off the bat what kind of people they are, you're like, oh, I stomach it, I take it, and then I most likely won't go anywhere near that person again. For example, I've talked about him in 2 videos prior. Fuck around, Phil. The first time I had to drive anywhere with him for a job, he was telling me, he had the radio on and they were talking about transgender stuff. And I just went, for fuck's sake, I would never let my daughter do that. And he was like, oh, well, if my son came to me, one of my sons came to me and said he wanted to be a girl, I'd be okay with it. I was very close to telling him to stop the car. If I wasn't at work and I wasn't driving with him for a reason, I would have said, dude, stop the car, I'm getting out. And I would have to tell him why. It's like, dude, no, you don't do that shit. So yeah, it's one of those things where you don't have to act like another culture to be accepted by that other culture. Be yourself, And me growing up, I grew up in a time when rock and roll started branching out into more and more genres, alternative rock and punk rock. Well, punk rock, goth rock, emo rock, and therefore we had, emos and goths, and look at how they behaved. Look at how they dressed and acted. It divided them from us. The problem is that a lot of those original emo and goth kids have grown up only to become the hippies that they so desperately hated. They became the people that they truly hated themselves. Liberals. Goths and emos just wanted to be left alone, right? But then they started becoming the LGBT. Literally, I'm not even joking. How many gothic and emo kids do you know that aren't some kind of LGBT? One way, shape, or form. I mean, they sit there with those fingerless glove stockings and sitting there just, I was biting their, it's like somebody needs to grab that kid by the fucking hair, throw him in a boot camp or something. I'm tired of these wussy little boys. I'm tired of the overly masculine men. And what I mean by that, not like muscles and all that and facial hair. Hell no. What I'm talking about are the girls who, the bad bitches. I can't stand when a gender role is reversed. When I see men acting like women, it disgusts me. It's absolutely disgusting. As both a straight white male and as a 50-50 religious man. I have my own issues with religion, just as much as anybody else would, just about as any atheist would. We grapple with religion on the daily. I mean, we all say, why God? Why? Even if you're an atheist, you'll look up and go, why God? Even though you don't believe him, you'll still say that. But religion divides us. race divides us, our sex divides us, our gender divides us, and that is one of the reasons why they want everybody to become one. I mean, I'm all for, not recognizing people as being white, black, Mexican, Indian, Asian, or whatever, Australian, Russian. It doesn't matter. Prick us, do we not bleed? Shoot us, do we not go, hey, what the hell? See, I got a little loud. He starts going off. There is a solution to it. And the solution is, while yes, it's convoluted, it's a little heavy-handed. They won't ever do it because of its heavy-handedness, of what it would entail to literally fix the societal issues that we are having. The government will only ever try to fix the economic issues with our country. They cannot fix the societal issues with us, mental illness and all that. And I'll tell you all right now, when it comes to me and mental illness, I've been doing my own research, and as someone who went through the pediatric, psychotherapy system, I can tell you, in all honesty, that it's a sham. It's bullshit. Doctors will tell your parents anything for a prescription, anything to get paid, anything they think that will help make your parents think that they've done good by the child by bringing them in and having them tested. I used to have my blood drawn every week or so to see how the medication's working. All that could have done, technically, the more I had that done, if I continued to follow the procedures and not said, hey, I'm done with all this. I'm done. I'm done getting stuck with a needle. So for me, I said, I'm done. I'm taking myself off of my medication, and I'm not going to follow the lies of the doctors anymore who just want a paycheck. The more prescriptions they sign you for, all the operations and procedures and follow-ups, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I remember back when a doctor did his job. He came in, made you feel better, what was right to make you feel better, and what did he want? A couple eggs and maybe some slabs of bacon. That's it, and he'd go on his way. It's like, I know you don't have much, but I'll take two of them their eggs and a sausage, for my breakfast tomorrow. And you would gladly give that to them if you had them to spare. But now they just want a paycheck, just like everything else. And I know, it's like I could be talking about something a bit more uplifting, but what really is there? Television and movies suck. It's just more of the same crap. Whenever something comes out, I will give it a slight benefit of the doubt, like Kenobi, right? Like when it came to Kenobi, I wanted to like it because it had Ewan McGregor, and it had the premise that it was going to bring back Darth Vader, so therefore I was happy about that. But then I watched the first episode, and I'm like, okay, maybe the second episode will be better. Well, it didn't get any better. Then after that, I was like, okay, yeah, it was truly the real downfall of Star Wars for me. It's like, when you couldn't even get, I can never say his name right, even when you can't get Obi-Wan Kenobi right, a show based on the 19 years of Obi-Wan's life on Tatooine. We could have had that, but no, they had to screw with it, and therefore we didn't get another season. We didn't get any kind of true conclusion to it. And I mean, if they ever tried to bring it back, it would be they'd have to get rid of the problems with it. You know, I mean, and the same thing with Power Rangers. Fucking Power Rangers, a show that has been running since it was running since fucking what was it, 76 or something like that. 1976 was the first Super Sentai series, and then for 15 years after it started, that's when we started getting Power Rangers. But now it's gone. It's gone. Why? Because it got woke and it got stupid. I mean, the Rangers weren't even human. So how could, I mean, here in America, if we wanted to adapt that series, what would we have had to do to adapt that series? Can you picture that? CG Power Rangers? That was the dumbest thing I ever saw. So while I'm sad that Power Rangers is gone, that they're no longer making them, even as an adult who grew up with the very first series, you know, it was a shock. The last true Super Sentai series that I enjoyed was Go Busters. Then we got Beast Morphers. And I remember one of the main reasons why I didn't watch that was because the fact being that it was nothing like the Japanese version. And I know you can go ahead and straight say that Power Rangers has never been anything like the Super Sentai series. And for that reason, you know, but they couldn't have been any further from it. They just mixed things up. And again, I know I went off on a tangent there, but it goes to show how culture can be changed, and culture can change us and our opinions of other cultures by what we're seeing from it. I mean, when you look at Super Sentai, we're going, oh wow, that's awesome, that's cool. But then when a Japanese person looks at Power Rangers, they go, oh my god, what did they do? What did they do to Super Sentai? You know, or Godzilla, oh Godzilla. I mean, in Japan, Godzilla was the king of monsters, right? And then, you know, we started getting wind of Godzilla here in America. So the only way we could see them, I mean, James Rolfe, the Angry Video Game Nerd, talked about this before, the whole history of Godzilla. But the main thing was that when we tried the American Godzilla, you know, when Godzilla 1985 first came out, we were all shocked and just, I loved it. I still love it. And I loved the entire, you know, Heisei, is it Heisei? Basically everything from 1985 to Destroyer. When we got the American Godzilla, that pissed Japan off. Nobody talks about that, but it did piss Japan off. They were like, what the fuck is this? Seriously, what the fuck is this? You know, like that's not Godzilla, that's a fucking giant iguana. So they said, hey, we're not going to have this anymore. So they said, no, this is Godzilla. But even then, they changed Godzilla too much for me. But then we get Peter Jackson's King Kong. And then they were like, well, wait a minute. Didn't we have a Godzilla versus King Kong movie? Yeah, technically. So they were like, hey, let's do that. So they combined King Kong with Godzilla. And that pissed off a lot of people. A lot of people were happy about it. A lot of people were fine with it. I wasn't. Because then what happened? King Kong took center stage. And that caused a divide. It made the divide against people who love Godzilla and the people who love King Kong. It just caused a divide between them. Well, I really love both monsters, but they're putting King Kong out front. I mean, come on, you know. It's like, while I don't care about which one came first, the fact is that they're both legends in their own right. And to cause a division, as just any division, whether it be in the culture, the music, the movies, the things you like. I like repairing things. Some people like destroying things. Some people like math. Some people like reading. You can't blame everybody for liking what they like. But that's the problem. Too many people are going around bitching and whining about, like, oh, I don't like him because he does this, or I don't like her because she does that. When? They're not you. You don't like it, go away. Leave them alone. They're not hurting you. You're just looking at it and going, then stop looking at them. That's why your parents always say, stop staring at don't stare at strangers. But then on the total opposite end of the spectrum, you got people who will just come crawling to anybody, ready and willing to give them what they want. I mean, we grow up, our parents telling us, don't take candy from strangers. So we're like, oh, okay, we won't take candy from strangers. But as soon as we get old enough to vote, we're taking candy from strangers. Whenever you vote for a bad fucking politician, you're taking the candy from the stranger. They'll open that white van and go, hey, you got Kamala Harris and Joe Biden going, hey, you let me sniff your hair, and I'll give you some candy. And you got Kamala going, yeah, Joe, yeah. I mean, come on. They're taking the candy. Your kids are taking the candy. And it started with my generation. My generation started taking the candy from the Democrats, and we haven't been able to stop chewing on it. Every time we try to spit it back out, it bounces off the floor and back into our mouths. Dirtier than ever. That's a hell of an analogy, don't you think? The Democrats are like a piece of candy. Every time you spit it out, it bounces right back in your mouth, dirtier than it was before. Nastier than it was before. Democrats are like that chewed up piece of gum you touch under the table. You know it's there, you don't want it to be there, but it's there. Oh, Jesus. I don't understand it. I just can't understand how we're so willing to tear each other apart limb for limb over the stupidest things. So a video game company makes a bad game. We all boycott that company and we have to try to force it to close. Or somebody says one wrong thing you don't like, we gotta cancel that person. I mean, it's like I'm still here and I've said some things and I've said plenty of things that should have got me canceled or basically banned from YouTube. I've gotten one strike. Got plenty of warnings, but one strike. However, I'm still here. Even with all the stuff that I've said. And will continue to say as long as I'm allowed to say it. I've thought about giving up YouTube and going somewhere else, but then I said no. As long as I'm still here and allowed to say what I want to say, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I knew a guy here on YouTube who did get banned from YouTube for simply speaking his mind. And to be honest, to this day, I can't even remember the name of the channel. He was a guy who, he had a beard, long hair, in a bun, he always had it tied up. He was usually always outside at a rally or a protest or something. But he seemed kind of be anti-government, but he made a lot of sense. But he still kind of leaned more to the right. And he was one of the first, I'd have to say, impartial YouTubers that I came across, where I would hear both sides of the story and then make up my own decision, and then realize which side was making more sense. And even he would say, he was like, normally I'd follow this side on that, but I can't this time. So he taught me what it means to be unbiased. But then I met Ben Shapiro. And I realized, holy hell. And then literally, I'll even tell you, it wasn't Michael Knowles or Matt Walsh after that. No, it was Dinesh D'Souza who really opened my eyes to the division in this country. And the reason why I guess I got levitated towards Ben Shapiro is because he's Jewish. He has a, a not full American opinion. He's got he's I mean, I know he's American, but he's also Jewish. So therefore he's got a religious belief and a political belief and a cultural belief. He's American, but his nationality is American. His religion is Jewish, and his political side leaning is Republican, conservative. And there are people out there who hate him for being those three things. Yet Ben Shapiro has never once said anything about hating the LGBT or hating the left. He says what he hates about the left. Hates about them. Not that I hate the left. I hate the left because they do this, this, and this. No, he says what I hate about the left is, that's his opinion, is about what he hates about them, is that they just won't listen, or this, that, or what, everything that they do, they just don't seem to care. And he'll even tell you how even Republicans seem to sit on their fucking hands too much. They'll cause a little bit of a, like, oh, hey, no, that you can't do that, no, and then they go back to looking at their phones, So it's really, it's a hypocritical thing to, one, tell people not to hate, not to be hateful, and say we're fighting against political hate and political division and cultural division, but then be the ones causing it yourselves. Even what I'm saying right now can cause division. It's all by the eye of the beholder and perceived by the beholder. Truth is in the eye of the beholder. So if someone says, oh, the grass is purple, and I go, no, it's green. Well, I say it's purple because it's in my eye. Through my eyes, it's purple. Do I have the right to dispute that person? No. Do I have the right to silence that person? No. Do I have the right to make fun of that person? No. But you're allowed. I'm allowed to do all of those things. I don't have a right to it, but nobody can tell me otherwise. That's what makes us a free country. I am free to say, do, go, eat what I want. Except for dogs and cats. And I'm going to say, if you're one of those people who don't think that the Haitian migrants were eating cats and dogs, just remember, Chinese people eat roast cat with string beans. Remember that. And there are cultures that consider husky puppies a delicacy. Not dogs, husky puppies. Here in America, we just get queasy over somebody wanting veal. Oh, those poor babies. Yeah, I get it. It's not cool. I mean, but yeah, have you seen what happens to male chicks? Male chickens? Where do you think you get your chicken nuggets from? Yeah, think about it. There's that viral video going around of the one little chick standing on like this little bolt, while all of his brothers are getting rolled off the conveyor belt into the grinder. Yum. So that's why I don't eat. I mean, I've known this for a long time. I've known it for a long time. That's why I don't eat fast food anymore. Like I said, I mean, even the food. Fast food is divisive. I mean, look at epic rap battles of history. McDonald's versus Burger King / Wendy's. I mean, who won? Who's next? Whenever somebody says who won, I mean, like with debates. Even I've said before, I don't believe debates can be won or lost. You can perform well or you can perform badly, but you cannot win or lose a debate. A debate is a conversation, not a competition. It's a chance to get your point across, and a chance for your opponent to rebut your points, to push back and say, oh, well, no, well, this goes against what you've said before, stuff like that. It's not a competition, it's a conversation. People are willing to have conversations up until the point where you start disagreeing with them. I'm willing to listen to anybody. They can disagree with me on absolutely every single thing I say. I'll say, my fountain is on right now. Do you agree? No. And I would go, okay. And we would continue. I wouldn't say, well, no, sir, it's still on. It is on. I wouldn't sit there and argue with the person. I would at first go, okay, But so many people are so quick to, they're easy enough to have a conversation with, but as soon as you disagree with them, that's when they run away. Or they start to deflect and get defensive. I mean, I rode past a guy on my bike. I thought he turned around enough to see me, but I guess he didn't see me out of his peripherals. So when I came up behind him, I thought, he even kind of moved over to one side of the sidewalk so I can go around him. When I went past him, I said, excuse me, and he was like, damn, man, you need to let somebody know you were coming. You didn't even let me know you were coming. And I stopped kind of hard. My brakes kind of stopped, made me stop hard. And immediately he acted scared, a little scared, until I had said, like, oh, I'm sorry, man, that's my bad. I thought you saw me. I saw you turn your head back there. I guess you didn't see me. And I even did kind of get over to one side. I explained it to him. You even did get over to one side, so therefore I thought you saw me and was giving me a path to walk through. And he's like, and it registered with him like, oh shoot, you're right, man, my bad. He's like, not a lot. He said not a lot of people would stop and be willing to explain what just happened. They wouldn't be willing to do that. Most guys would have just kept riding on, or we would have just been fighting right now. But no, I let him know exactly what just transpired, and he went, oh, yes, that is what happened. I did turn my head back and did not see you. He must have was seeing if a car was coming or not, because I believe he's one of those people who just walk across the street when it's clear, and I guess it wasn't going to be clear enough for him by the time I passed him. But regardless, that was it went well. That was the thing. A well-met person. But yet, I could walk past a million people just like him and say, hello, and they'll just look at you and, like, how dare you say anything to me? I'm like, I'm just trying to be a little nice, a little cordial. But yet, people just act offended when you try to even be nice. But then when you're not nice, they get mad. I'm like, geez, it's like when I go to a fast food restaurant, I expect to hear, hi, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? Not, what do you want? And I've heard that before. It's absolutely asinine the way people treat each other nowadays. And hello to whoever's watching me. It's just to talk to people as if they're dirt on a daily basis, or just treat everyone like they're out to get you. I'm out to get you, like, oh God, there's that white boy. Literally, when a girl's walking towards me and I'm walking towards them, they walk like, they don't go a totally different way. I'm like, what the hell? Do I offend? I'm wearing deodorant. But no, they are, lost of words. They're brainwashed into believing that any man that looks at them or says hello to them is, we're gonna get you, watch out. No. I held a door open for a woman once, and she was like, thank you. I'm like, well, shit, come on back out here. Let me close it for you. You can open it your damn self. If you want to stop the division in the country, we just have to stop using all the divisive language, as they've said, but they won't go into detail what all that divisive language is. I mean, yeah, when you call somebody a racist, that's being divisive. When you're calling somebody a sexist, a bigot, anything like that, that's divisive. But when you call someone friend, buddy, fella, sir, ma'am, madam, that's a unified term of friendship. Excuse me, sir. That lets you know that who you're speaking with has manners. If somebody says, hey man, hey yo, I don't respond to that. If I do respond to that, it's hey, my name is not bro, it's not hey yeah, it's not dude. You can call me sir or Richard. That is my name. I don't like being called bro, bruh, dude. Hey man, I hate it. So can't we just use the proper terminology for one another? Male, female, he, she, boy, girl, mom, dad. But trying to change the language of all of us by that's just the two. It's a generalized term. No, it's not. You were born with one thing or you were born with another. You can't change biology. No matter what you may be thinking up here, it doesn't matter. What's in your pants is what matters. And for guys, it's what's right here that matters. Whenever I see a chick and they got this, that ain't a chick. Or if I see a dude with a chest, that ain't a dude. So, the solutions are right there. But they won't do it because it will solve the problem. And without the problem, there's no reason for the groups. There's no reason for the funding. There's no reason for all the time, energy, resources, and legislation and litigation to solve it. If we just did it. Boop, racism, gone. You're not black anymore. You're a person. You're a person. You're a human. It's that easy. It's that fucking easy. And then the government can't say, all this racial division. What racial division? I'm hugging my bro here. I'm hugging my sis here. We're just chilling in one big boat together. We're fine. Look at all this racial hatred and racial division. From where? Where? I'm not seeing it. Especially when I do like seeing when African Americans come out and speak against the culture, the African American culture, the thug life, the gangster life, and all that. I enjoy and I appreciate those ones that do that, but they get they get all kinds of slack. Not slack. They get all kinds of flack. Excuse me. They get pushback. Nobody believes Candace Owens or Officer Tatum, Jesse Lee Peterson, or Colin Noir. Nobody listens to them when they themselves black. They have seen it. They have heard the Hodge twins. If you've heard the Hodge twins, they get it. They know. They know that shit. They've seen what I've seen. So they can't deny it. But the denial is the problem. When you watch the body cam footage from police body cams, you see it. You hear it. You hear the reasoning. You hear their version of the logic, and not the police officer's logic. We're talking about the suspect's logic as to why they've done what they've done, or why the cops shouldn't be putting their hands on them. For fuck's sake, you cuss at the cops, you yell at the cops, you refuse the cops. They're gonna escalate the situation. You are escalating it, they're gonna escalate it. It's really easy. The calmer you stay, the calmer they stay. Hello, sir, license, registration, proof of insurance. What'd you pull me over for? Okay, sir, get out of the vehicle. Immediately. It's not that hard. Chris Rock told us about this, okay? Chris Rock told us about this. How not to get your ass beat by the police. But did they listen? No. They'd rather listen to fuck the police. That's what they'd rather listen to. And if you want us to stop looking, if they want if they want other people to stop looking at them as if they are a bad culture, then the parents, grandparents, the aunties, the uncles, the moms, whatever dads are there, smack your kid around a little bit. Get him to knock the shit off. How hard is it? I got knocked around as a kid. Straightened me out. I didn't talk back to my elders, and I still don't. If you're older than me, I will treat you like an elder, and it was yes sir, no sir. If you are younger than me, it's okay, buddy. Yes sir. It'll still be a yes sir every now and then, especially for my supervisor or not, if you're younger than me. But if you're still 18, it's okay, you got it, buddy. You know, I'm not gonna talk to you at a ranking that you're not. And I know that sounds like a ranking, a tier system for humans. And no, it's not. Mister, you're married. Mrs., you're married. Miss, you're not married. Sir, you're not married. Generally, I don't think that can go both ways for men. Even though men won't go both ways, I sure as hell don't. Again, I am not hating on people. I am not being racist towards people. I am simply and will always simply give you the facts and the logic of the cultural norms of humans. Whether you have a darker skin pigment than I do, whether you have a lighter skin pigment than I do. Just because you've got red hair and super pale skin, I'm not going to call you a ginger, because that's a label. That's mixed. That's divisive. Why would I do that? You're still a human being. Look at me, myself, and Irene, the character Whitey. Huh. I was like, a little on the nose, don't you think? I thought that was exceedingly messed up. Not only to the actor portraying the character, but it once again and don't even get me started with the fact that Jim Carrey's sons were all black. Don't even get me started with that. That caused problems in itself. People didn't like the film because of that. Like, yeah, I didn't like the idea of him having three black boys, as him accepting the father role of that, and all that. And you had the fathers coming out against it. You had black people coming out against it. You had feminists coming out against it, saying, said that, women's right to have a baby with whoever they want to have a baby with, be it a white dude or a black dude, a woman's right to cheat. Have you guys heard that yet? Any of you men out there, you've heard of a woman's right to cheat? Yeah. These crazy, I'm calling it the fourth wave feminism now. They've been calling it the third wave feminism. We're on our fourth already. It's the women who say that they should be allowed to literally take all of a man's money and basically have sex and have babies with anybody but the man that they're with, and sleep with as many men as they want without any legal consequences. In fact, they want more out of alimony and child support. Yeah, that is fourth wave feminism. Get ready. Coming to a book club near you. So if you got a wife in a book club, get her out of it. Unless she's already a feminist, then what the hell are you doing with her? What the hell is she doing with you? She's a feminist. Men are toxic. Yeah, we are. But we keep your motor running. Both your car and yours. Think about it, women. We ask you this question all the time. What would the world be like without men? Pretty damn lonely. A lot of broken shit. A lot of tall grass. A lot of leaky roofs. You can't live without us. And no, we can't live without you. Because without you, we would go insane if we didn't have our release. If we get lucky enough to be with one of you. I've been lucky enough to be with plenty. And I'm married to the best one. Well, nah, I call her my wife. We've been together for 20-some damn years. We don't even really celebrate an anniversary, because our birthdays are so close together. Christmas, yeah, both of our birthdays are in January, so that between there and Christmas, yeah, we ain't doing that. We don't even celebrate Valentine's Day. So you can't say we're not too modern. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day because, like I said, because of Christmas, birthdays, Valentine's Day. Nah, not doing it. But in order to, keep everybody happy, it's real easy. You just don't use the labels that they want to be used. If somebody, for example, if somebody has pronouns, don't use those pronouns. Eventually, they will look back and realize, wow, I made a mistake in my life. They look back at that period of their life and go, wow, I was stupid to think that. So I appreciate those people who did not affirm my pronouns. You never know. There can be some out there who are literally trying to weigh that option, you know. How many people will affirm it? How many people won't affirm it? If more people affirm it, I'll stay it. If they don't affirm it, I'll drop it. We don't know. But I have a strong suspicion that this is starting to fizzle out. The division will start to fizzle out once we finally come to terms with who is president, we can trust the elections again, and we all stop listening to the mainstream media and woke journalists. Once we get the woke and the DEI out of everything, we'll be far. That's what made it all bad in the first place. When everybody got woke and DEI, that's when we had the problems. And I want it to stop. I don't have any friends. I don't have any friends other than the ones that I had from when I was a child. But even then, I don't keep in touch with most of them. I can't make new friends because we're all too afraid to talk to people because we'll find out things about them that we're not going to like. Because everything's been politicized and caused divides in all of us. You like burritos? No, I don't like burritos. You like burritos? Oh, I hate you because you like burritos. You know? It's gotten that ridiculous. I quit my job because he misgendered me. Well, you're never going to have a stable job, are you? That's your problem. That's causing the problem for yourself. You cannot blame the person that misgendered you or did not use your proper pronouns on you losing your job. Because you couldn't handle it. You know, so you flipped out and lost your job. Or if the job was too stressful, you know, I couldn't handle that job anymore, so I quit. Well, now what are you going to do? Nothing. I'm not going to do any, you know, come on. There's this trend going around, people literally quitting their jobs and I'm saying I'm never going to work. Well, I'll see you on that street corner. I may have a quarter or a cigarette for you. Might give you a Sharpie to touch up your sign. We'll work for food. Starving. You know? Again, it's not hard to fix the problems. It's not. If you just stop letting the fucking government get in the goddamn way. And if you stop letting people use race and gender and sex and fucking, you know, just climate change and global warming, global cooling and environmentalism, if you let all these people, if you just shut all these fucking people up. I want to stop seeing roadkill. You know how I want that to happen? Put fucking little fences across the fucking streets so that way animals can't cross it. Well, that cuts them off their natural habitat. Well, hey, it keeps them off the fucking roads. I have my opinion about it. You have your opinion about it. You know? How do we keep people from getting hit by cars? Again, put a fucking fence along the goddamn road so that people can't walk across the goddamn street unless they're at designated walking zones. I mean, you've seen the bridges that go over roads. Why don't we have more of those? Then you don't have to wait for a light. Go over. Oh, but then we got people throwing stuff off the bridges and spitting off the bridges. You can't win for losing. You're always going to piss somebody off. You do one thing to solve a problem, somebody's not going to like that solution. So then they correct that solution, and somebody's like, well, we like that solution. But, well, they didn't like that solution. Well, what are you going to do to fix it? We don't know. And I lost a person. Was I too much for you? Too much? I was getting on a roll. I was just getting started. I'm just getting warmed up. Because the funny thing about me is that the better I am is the crazier I get, the louder I get. The more eyes that are on me, the better I am. I mean, nobody's chatting, you know. I mean, if somebody would come in here and tell me, hey, you know, what do you think about this particular topic? I'll tell you. I'll gladly tell you. So if you want to chat, come on, chat. Where's a chat? Give me a chat. I want to see a chat. Give me something to talk about, and I will absolutely blow your mind on my opinion on it. Come on. Come on. Anything. Whoever's watching me, if you're somebody I know and I got you on Messenger, send me a message. Send me a topic. Come on. Do you know me? Do you have me on Messenger? Yeah, because that's the only way you can get a hold of me technically is through Messenger or through my comments on my videos. Wow, I'm coming up on an hour. Jesus Christ. Okay, I guess nobody wants to chat. Sorry. Well, I'm going to wrap this up by simply stating this. If you want to end the division in our country, one surefire way. Stop using the labels. Stop using their terminology. Use what you see and what you know in the dictionary to be true grammar. And then the division will stop. Because once you realize, well, that word doesn't mean what they're making it sound, like not everyone's your bro. Remember that. You don't have to like everybody. You don't have to love everybody. You can't love everybody. The people that are preaching love everybody. Do they love Hitler? Do they love Stalin? Do they like Jeffrey Dahmer? Do they love Jeffrey Dahmer? Do they love Charles Manson? Do they? Because if you're saying love everybody, that would include them. I don't love them. There's a lot of people I don't love. There's a lot of people I hate. I hate anybody who said that Bill Cosby did what he did. There, I've said it. If you think Bill Cosby did what he did, you're wrong. I'm sorry, in my mind, you're wrong. That man couldn't have done anything damn wrong in his life. That's why he beat the rap. He suffered enough and he beat the rap. But yet, he's been labeled now for the rest of his life. Harvey Weinstein, I don't know. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know much about him. So I wouldn't know anything about it. The father from Growing Pains, again, I watched the show, didn't care for the show, didn't care for him, so therefore I don't know anything about him. So therefore him being a kitty diddler or whatever, I don't care. You know? He did what he did. Bill Cosby didn't do what they say he did. You know, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, but we all stick our noses in everybody's fucking business so damn much. I mean, who was that one kid? Jack Doherty? Right? The kid who just recently crashed his car. He was that punk walking around bumping into people, and then when you say something to him, his security would jump on you. Yeah? Him? He just crashed his fucking car because he was checking the chat on a live stream. Crashed his fucking car in the rain. And as he is being pulled out of his car by people helping him, he's like, take my phone, hold my phone, and he's sitting there still on fucking line while they're pulling him out of his fucking trashed Ferrari. Does that make any sense to you? But yet he still has followers. He still has followers. Lil Tay, remember her? She fizzled out. But look what happened to the Cash Me Outside girl and, you know, what's the other one? Bad Becky or something like that? I don't know. But all of these people who chase, who will beg you for clout, beg you to watch them, beg you to follow them. All I ever do is say, hey, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, do what you do. Doesn't matter to me either way. I mean, I gain a subscriber, I lose a subscriber. I'm like, it is what it is. But definitely more people here watching me than I've ever had before. 179 people, 175 people, was 176 people, but I lost somebody yesterday. Where'd you go? But anyways, I'm not doing what I do for clout. I'm doing it to show that there are still people out here willing to put the work in. People who are out here willing to live the true American dream and not the government's diluted version of the American dream. There was a time we were all convinced they wanted us sitting in front of the television, sucking down TV dinners, and sucking down high fructose corn syrup in our sodas. That's what we all thought. We started breaking away from that. And they're like, oh no, we can't have that. TV viewership is dropping? Well, we can't have that. They're reading more? No, can't have that. Here comes the internet. And that gave us all something to be hooked on. And then here comes video games for the younger generations to get hooked on. Because the internet wasn't quite there yet. The internet was to keep the older people happy. The younger kids who were still coming in, they still had cartoons and stuff. But then look what happened to cartoons. Cartoons aren't even for fucking kids anymore. You name me one cartoon that's made for a kid nowadays. That would be like, I don't know, like even remotely close to even Dora. You know? We had Ren and Stimpy, yeah, and Beavis and Butthead. But other than that, the shows we had, were kid friendly. Reboot, Transformers. You know, we had plenty of kid friendly shows. Yeah, sure, there was action shows, Thundercats and He-Man and Transformers and G.I. Joe, SWAT Cats and Ninja Turtles, Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars, Cowboys of Moo Mesa, Brave Star, Mask. But now these kids, what are they watching? Americanized versions of adult-themed animes. Yeah, American dubbed versions of Japanese animes. Adult animes. Where all the girls are like 12, 13, 14 years old getting slaughtered. Blood Sea. High School of the Dead. Yeah. This is what your kids are consuming. And you guys are worried about Beavis and Butthead? The only blood I ever saw on that was the episode Nosebleed. A lot of blood. And when Beavis got the tip of his finger cut off. Or was it Butthead? It was Butthead. He was holding the grasshopper and Beavis chainsawed the grasshopper, but also cutting off Butthead's tip of his finger. Parents were outraged. Mortal Kombat. Oh, God. Oh. But now we've got Grand Theft Auto 6 coming. Where you shoot somebody, pool of blood forms underneath them. Nobody's batting an eye at that. We've got Mortal Kombat. We still have Mortal Kombat. Bloodier than ever. And even though it's... and that's ridiculous. I'll make a whole another... I can do a whole other live stream about my opinions about video games, especially Mortal Kombat. That much damage being done to somebody... There's no. There's no coming back from that. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Let's stop the division. Let's stop pushing each other away just because they're from a different political leaning, or they're a different color, or they're a different religion. We are all the same people. Human. We are the human race. Humankind. That's what I am. What are you going to be?